Today we got Brother Mark here. He was a former Muslim. He came into the knowledge about, who we are according to the scripture and historic references. We got Brother Bezalel Israel. He's going to be sitting around that. And they're going to go in on black genocide. They're going to give you references. They're going to just break it down, give you a very clear understanding of why we even doing this and why we do what we do and the importance of it. Because we're not up here wasting our time. We live catch. We could be doing other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So basically, we taking our time out, to bring you information that we've researched, to give you a shortcut, just like the brothers and the sisters who did it before us to give us a shortcut. And that's all we doing, you know what I'm saying? So basically, we're just trying to give y'all a good understanding of why we are where we are today as a people, and how we need to get out of this situation if we can. And you know what I'm saying, we know according to what we believe, you might not believe this, but we believe the Messiah gonna have to come deliver us out of this, simply because who gonna stop these men who got all these who got all this firepower, these war chariots, these armory, you know what I'm saying, this weaponry. We don't have that. So who gonna save us from this stuff besides the Messiah who we believe in the Holy Bible? You know what I'm saying? I use my logic with stuff. A lot of people don't. And a lot of people in this truth don't use their logic, or a lot of people in whatever don't use their logic. So me logically saying, either we going to get wiped out or something going to have to happen. It had to be Messiah coming out the sky. Because who going to stop us who going to stop these people when this stuff go down? You going to get wiped off the face of the earth. It's simple as that if he don't come. I don't care if you a Rastafarian, Hebrew Israelite, you believe in the Quran, you an Egyptologist, whatever you are, you know what I'm saying? Who gonna stop this stuff when it goes down? Because it's gonna go down. They already arming up right now, you know what I'm saying? World War III is on the way. And we just trying to let y'all know what's going on. Like I said, I got some very intelligent brothers who going to be speaking to y'all, bringing y'all some information that they done researched. Because like I said, people put a lot of time and effort into bringing y'all this information. So we going to let them go ahead and reveal this stuff to you. I'm going to chime in sometime or ask some questions. So y'all take care. Just bear with us.
Yeah, I'm Brother Bezalel Israel, and today's topic we're going to focus on most of the day is black genocide here in America. I had a paper to write on concepts, and the concept I chose to write was about genocide, and when I got to researching the term genocide, I found this information out. It says that the United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Crime of Genocide was established in 1948. And in Article 2 of this document, it states that the parameters of what's considered genocide is any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a particular group of people. You know what I'm saying? And it says that the requirements to be classified as something called genocide is killing those in a particular group, implementing methods to prevent or control births in a particular group, causing mental or psychological harm to this group, deliberately inflicting life conditions on the group that are calculated to their physical destruction in whole or in part, as well as causing great bodily harm to the group. And when it got to talking about why this was established by the United Nations, it started listing, it said first this happened to the Armenians, it talked about the so-called Jewish people in the Holocaust, it talked about what's going on in Rwanda, and it started talking about what happened in Bosnia and what happened in Kosovo. And it was to my astonishment that none of this was applied to the so-called African American or the black in the United States. When you look at the parameters of what they listed as far as what is considered genocide, there's only one group of people where all of these things have happened to and are continued and are still happening this day. You know what I'm saying? So when I looked at
so when you started with the like the list of things that you just labeled as identifying genocide, go to the first one and explain how, and we can talk about how those things directly point at us, and how we fit all those strategies we fit as far as those these so-called powers that be, as far as decreasing our numbers, as far as destroying or laying the groundwork for conditions for people not to be able to come up out of or reach their potential, as you go down there?
Well, the first list, it says killing those in this group. You know what I'm saying? And when people think of genocide, that's usually what they think. They think of one people physically trying to eradicate people off the face of the earth, like what's going on in Darfur and Sudan. You know what I'm saying? But as far as killing blacks in America, I mean, you can look at it as what happened in the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? Where they was throwing people over the boat if they thought you were sick, or just the conditions in that they stockpiled so many of us on the boat because they know so many of us was going to die. I mean, that's still intentionally killing a certain amount of people. You know what I'm saying? Then you have, after slavery, you have lynching. You know what I'm saying? So you got from the period of around 1888 to around 1968, where it's listed statistically that 3,446 blacks were lynched. You know what I'm saying? Actually, also 1,237 white people were lynched who were accused of being so-called nigger lovers, of people who, you know, wanted to help us learn how to read, or was, you know what I'm saying, probably friends with abolitionists and believed in, you know what I'm saying, equal rights for us. They killed those white people as well. But today, you know what I'm saying, you still have blacks being killed, and it's going unpunished. And I have a list of here recently of blacks being shot by police officers unarmed. And right here, it says that in 1999, a man named Amadou Ahmed Diallo was shot 19 times in New York. It was actually 41 shots fired at him, shot 19 times. He was unarmed. In 2008, a man named Orlando Barlow, he was shot with an assault rifle while surrendering on his knees in Las Vegas. Wow. In 2006, a 23-year-old man named Sean Bell, leaving a strip club who was hosting his own bachelor party, the police fired 51 shots into his vehicle. And these men who did that, and these police officers that did that, have been sent to, a lot of them have been sent to trial. I mean, these are landmark cases that we're hearing about. But this goes on every day in America.
What about Malice Green?
We got Malice Green right here down in Detroit who was killed.
What about Rodney King?
You got Rodney King who was beat within an inch of his life, you know, and then you got countless others that are probably getting beat right now within inches of their life, putting dope on them, you know what I'm saying, sending them to prison for large numbers of years, you know, because of a dislike or a feeling of just a hatred that they take to work with them, and they project every day when they come out on the beat, you know. So these are things that are done outside the public eye, you know, and these people are doing this these officers are doing this on a daily basis. You know, this is one way of punishing the people or destroying the people or causing fear in the neighborhoods and making people feel like they can't walk a certain time of night. You know, why is it if you're walking at 1 o'clock at night as a white person, you're taking a walk, you walk at 1 o'clock at night as a young black male, you fit a description of somebody who just committed a crime. Therefore, now you put your hands up against this car, get shook down, possibly beat. If you ask too many questions, like, why is this happening to me? Now you're being, now you're resisting. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways of putting the people in a situation where they don't feel like people. What you inject them with is fear. You know, I got to be fearful when I walk out of my house because you never know what can happen. You know, we're talking about other ways of keeping people's numbers low or making them feel like they can't raise children. We talk about Planned Parenthood. You know, how many black women have went to Planned Parenthood and been told that, you know, like we talked in our last film about, you know, they're being told by these people that work there that you can't afford this child. It's better to abort this child. And if you look at the numbers of the black babies that are aborted, not to mention the mortality rate alone of black babies that actually do come to be born, you know, because of, you know, us not being able to have the proper health care or whatever, the proper diets. I mean, these are things that are put in place to decrease the numbers of people. So if you feel like you want to, if you're told by these people who you put in power, or you feel like have a say or have some sort of knowing about you and your ability to raise a child, you may gravitate towards their suggestions to you. You know, hey, you can't have this child. You know, you're not even married. You need to kill this baby. They won't say it like that, but they'll let you know that we can do it in a humanistic way, and it'll be no more pain, and you'll be able to go on with your life.
And you know they was doing the same thing, because we know according to scripture and history that we the Hebrew Israelites. They was doing the same thing to us in Egypt. And over here in America is the new Egypt. Same way, same concepts. Right now, the average daily abortion rate per day is 1,500 babies a day.
Wow.
And then it's more than 15 million altogether.
Right.
So that would be another 15 million. Actually, you might want to triple 15 million. You know what I'm saying? Which would be what? 40 million? 45 million?
Right.
Because, you know, they would have offspring and they would have offspring and you can't really calculate it. So you just cut off about 45 million kids with just that number being about 15 million.
Right. And these are black
these
people.
Are
babies, man. These are babies.
And I'm glad y'all brothers brought that up, because one of the listings in here that makes something required to classify it as genocide is trying to prevent the birth of that group. You know what I'm saying? And I have some quotes from Margaret Sanger herself, who established Planned Parenthood along with Bill Gates' father. And she said right here, it says, human weeds, reckless breeders spawning human beings who never should have been born. That's how she felt about black people. And it's in a book she wrote called Pivot of Civilization. She also said, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. Like basically, like only their leaders, people like us, it would occur that they out to get our people. You know what I'm saying? And Fred Hampton of the Black Panthers, if you look at some of his old filming documentary, he was against abortion clinics being put into black neighborhoods in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the statistics of Planned Parenthood, you see that 78% of their Planned Parenthood buildings are in black communities. And if you also, you can tell,
like liquor stores.
Yeah. And with black people only making up 12% of the population, you got to ask yourself, why do we make up 35% of all abortions in the United States? So you have people that's listed as almost as 1/10 of the population being accounted for more than a third of the abortions.
So just reason with that. I mean, just be a reasonable thinker, and just reason with those numbers. And then out of that reasoning, you're gonna come to an understanding that there is something deliberately being done to decrease our numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you something real quick. I was reading up on that information about Planned Parenthood, Martha Singer. You know, Margaret Singer, it started mainly in New York, I think. And what happened was, am I right? It started, I think it was mainly in New York. And what she did was, she used educated people, and she used the Christian church to promote this, because those are the people who she would be able to get to. She can't get to hood people, and one, you know, your average black person, you know, she's not going to be able to get to, but she's going to be able to get to the educated person who's in these churches and in these people who we look up to help us out. But really they don't even know that they're being used to destroy us.
Sometimes they do know. But, you know, it's the same thing as when they sent missionaries out in Africa before they actually came with the actual kidnapping process. You know, they would send missionaries there to sort of tenderize the people. You know what I'm saying? And then they would move us out of that continent in large numbers after these people came and gave us an understanding about, you know, their goodness, how good they are, you know, about this religion, how loving it is. But they would use these missionaries, these nuns, to tenderize and get ready for the big shipment. And that's why they use these reputable names and reputable people that we look up to, whether it be a clergyman or a religious person or an educated person. They use them to be the spokespeople for you know, their agenda.
Right.
So what we're working with now is, you know, actual conspiring to take down the numbers, because they are putting people in strategic order. You know what I'm saying? And they put people in spots and positions to carry out a plan. You know, so and it's not something that we're just sitting here playing with, or just you know just trying to make up, you know, conspiracy theories. Look at the numbers. Your babies die more than any other babies.
And that goes along with that scripture in Jeremiah 6 where it says, "They tell my people peace, peace, when there is no peace."
And there's no peace.
Let me bring out one more.
But before you go do that, Judah, we're talking about also, you know, if you look at the scriptures, when the Messiah was being born, the king at that time wanted to kill all the babies just to stop that birth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The prophets have always come from the melanin people, the people with who are dark in complexion. The prophets have always come from those wombs, and in order to stop those prophets from coming, or those great men who are going to come up against these establishments and these governments, hang on one second, Basil, you're going to have to kill the mother. You're going to have to kill the baby. That way you don't have to worry about, you know, this man ever coming, this baby ever becoming that man that this people needs.
Yeah, and I was just trying to chime in and point out that a lot of people don't know when they read the Bible that King Herod was not an Israelite, he was actually an Edomite.
Exactly.
King Herod in the Bible was an Edomite who issued that decree to kill all of the Hebrew babies 2 years and under. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say something real quick. And then if you go to Exodus, I think it's Exodus, the first chapter. You can read about the Pharaoh, telling them to kill the firstborn, and then you can look at Matthew, the second chapter, where they was trying to kill the Messiah before he came to prophesy. And then another thing I just want to touch on before I'm going to let these brothers continue is a scripture in Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. It says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, and put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." So that's these people calling us conspiracy theorists. We conspiracy theorists do analysis and reason, meaning using information to come to their conclusion. Right. They're not just saying this and this and this and that. They're using logic. So what I want to say is all conspiracy theories is people who think that when the clouds is gray, that it's about to rain.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When it's cold, it's winter time. Right. When it's cold for 4 months, it's winter time. Right. You know what I'm saying? That his shirt is black. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is using your common sense. But see, like we touched on earlier, they use these educated people, and I'm not down to educated people. I'm just saying that's who they usually use, because those are the people who everybody gonna listen to, or somebody with status. Right. You know what I'm saying? To promote their agenda. Somebody who sold out to promote these people's agenda. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they use with Martha Sanger. They use, that's who she used. You know what I'm saying? To do her little thing.
Conspiracy. The word conspiracy alone just means it means to conspire, but it takes two or more people to conspire together to carry out a plan. Right. That's all conspiracy means. So when we're being reasonable, we can easily see how more than 2 or 3 people got together to carry out the transatlantic slave trade. Right. I mean, this was a collusion amongst people. Right. Some nations got together, agreed upon a price, and they got together and did this. This is not a conspiracy theory. This actually happened. You know, what this brother Bezel is talking about as far as Planned Parenthood, these things actually happen. With police comes from a word called policy. So when you start talking about, you know, these police officers, they're rocking up under a policy. They come into your neighborhoods to police. But if you don't know what the policy is that they're policing under, then you're going to be a victim, and you're going to think that these are public helpers. These people are here to help you. No, they're rocking under a policy. You know, and that policy is against you. So when we start looking at, you know, whether it be the drug distribution, or whether it be the guns coming into the neighborhoods, or whether it be the medium that's teaching our children with this music and with these visual aids on television, this is a conspiring mechanism. These things are being conspired and set out like a war against our children, because there's more than one way to kill a child. You can kill a child through Planned Parenthood. You can kill a child before his brain gets her brain gets a chance to really understand life. You can just dumb that child down so they will never reach the potential to resurrect or redeem their people. So when we start talking about killing, there's a lot of different ways, very, very subtle ways that these things are being unleashed on our people.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get back.
Let me just say one thing, and it's statistically that black children are, as babies, more advanced than white children.
Right.
And you know, I got the statistics on that. So the thing is, And you can look it up yourself, but the thing is, if we come out more advanced, why are we so behind at the end of the day? Because like he just said, it had to been a dumbing down process to get these really advanced people to be slow and not understand what's going on and not actually amount to something at the end of the day as a whole, not as individual.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get back to focus on the first issue listed in one of the classifications of genocide was killing those, you know what I'm saying, the members of this particular group. And I just wanted to list some more of the recent deaths by unarmed black men being shot by police officers. And it is in 2006, like I said, 23-year-old Sean Bell was shot 50 times, you know what I'm saying, in his vehicle, leaving the strip club where he was hosting his own bachelor party. But in January 1st, 2009, a man named Oscar Grant was gunned down by the police, black man, found with no weapon. June 10th, a man named Niles Masonry was killed in the same year of 2009 by the police with no gun. In 2010, January 29th, a man named Aaron Campbell was shot by the police, black man with no gun. January 10th, 2010, a man named Victor Steen shot by the police, unarmed with no gun. March 20th, a man named Stephen Eugene Washington, same year, 2010, shot by the police with no gun. And June 5th, a man named Tyrone Brown, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, nothing is happening to these police officers. You know what I'm saying? The man I believe was Oscar Grant. I think was the guy that got killed by the police in Oakland, was shot in the subway while laying face down. Right. You know, his police officer was found involuntary manslaughter. Since the 5 years, we all know he only did 2 years.
Because he probably doesn't have no record, which means he'll never see prison because his guidelines don't allow him to go to prison on that type of charge. Yeah,
but he only did 2 years and was released. And we know it was a public outrage in California. But what I'm saying is that our people still getting killed. You know what I'm saying? And nothing's happening about it. It's an injustice. Our people are still having their births prevented through Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm saying? Another requirement to being classified as genocide was inflicting a particular type of life conditions upon the people that are calculated for their physical destruction in whole or in part. And you can look at the CIA bringing drugs into the urban communities where black people at. You know what I'm saying? To get their parents hooked on drugs. You know what I'm saying? You can look at the fact that and this ties into again with birth control as long with the life conditions. But you can look at the fact that the prisons are being built based on a 4th grade reading level. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Governor Snyder, you know what I'm saying, he plans on using $10 billion and spreading it across Michigan. And he said he plans on putting a lot into the educational system. However, how much money he puts into the educational system will be based on schools where the students have high test scores. Now, we know in the black community we have low test scores. But why do we have low test scores? Because we get underfunded. So they play these mind games trying to tell you, well, we don't want to give them that money because they're not going to score well on the test and do nothing with it. But the reason why we score low on our tests is because our teachers are underpaid. Our schools are understaffed. Our books are outdated. You know what I'm saying? So then they turn around and use this same thing, you know what I'm saying, to keep our schools underfunded because they know that 60% of the prison population is illiterate. 85% of juveniles have trouble reading. So if you can keep these people not knowing how to read, it ain't taking rocket science to figure out that they're going to be criminals. You know what I'm saying? And in the 13th Amendment, it lets you know that this is ending slavery and involuntary servitude except for if a crime is committed. So this is another way of getting our people of remaining slaves to them. And our people can't see this stuff.
Or you could, you know, control what they learn. I mean, you can give them books of that don't compete with the suburban school districts, or you can, you know, control the curriculum or what they learn. And so when you have a curriculum that is not empowering to black little boys and girls, you know, then you have controlled them. You have like you mentioned in your paper, you have, you know, set the conditioning. You know, so like I say, it's a lot of ways to skin a cat. We're talking about conditioning right now as far as, you know, building ideas as a small child of what is valuable and what's not valuable. So right now what's being directed as valuable to our children are materialistic things and things like women and things that are glittery to the eye, you know. But as we know biblically, the apple was bitten because it was something that was pleasing to the eye. And these are the things that are being brought in front of the face of our children every day. So when you do come at a black child, with the truth, then you're gonna become battered because this is not shining. This don't feel good. Everything that they want right now is something that's got to feel good, you know. And the truth doesn't feel good. You know, if you're telling somebody that there's there's snipers on the roof ready to kill us when we come up out the door. It's got to be something wrong with our minds if we still walk out the door. But how many of us have been warned about the things, the traps that are being laid for us, and we still walk out the door? That just tells you about the psychological damage. There are warnings all around us. This is the information age. How many people have we talked to about these regular factual things that are happening, and we got argued down about it? You know what I'm saying? We're arguing about these things that are actually happening to us. You know, so this lets you know the psychological damage. This lets you know how efficient this conditioning process has been. Because when you can't save your people with facts and point out a sniper on the roof that they still refuse to see, then you know, man, there's been I'm not gonna call it hypnosis. There's been a conditioning that's been so effective that the truth can't even get through to the reasoning aspect of the mind. You know, so at that point, man, at that point, you're really dealing with zombies, and that's what a lot of us are becoming. You know, we're being built by our conquerors. We're being built to like what they like, cry for what they cry for, and die for what they call valuable. But the things that are valuable and that will redeem us as a people, we don't know about. And when we do find out about them, we ain't willing to die over it. So we're going to stay in the same condition, you know, because in order, I mean, people don't like to hear this, you know, but in order for us to really reconcile our situation, it's going to require some bloodshed. You know what I'm saying? It's going to require some incarceration. And that's why only a select few are going to be the ones out here actually setting up programs and actually getting on these pages and trying to warn our people. You know, but how many people sit in collusion outside of this audience and talk bad about it? That goes to show the psychological damage again. Crabs in the barrel. You know, these three men are out here trying to, you know, save as many people as they can just with a brass sound. The truth. You know, with a trumpet sound, it's a brass sound. We just out here with a brass sound. But how many men are at home playing their little games or, you know, smoking their little blunts and critiquing what men have put in their hearts to do, as far as what the Most High said to do.
And that's another classification of what's considered genocide is psychological or mental harm to this particular group of people. And that's something that's been done to our people since slavery. You know what I'm saying? We look at the fact that they used to take the black man and put him out in front of his family and beat him within an inch of his life in front of his woman to show her that he can't protect her. You know what I'm saying? So that she would look to the master for guidance and protection. And that's what our women do when they look towards the welfare system. You know what I'm saying? I can't depend on the black man, but I can depend on this government to give me Section 8 and give me food stamps. And then you look at the fact that they used to take our women and rape them, and that was your wife. They didn't respect your marriage. And then another thing they used to do is they used to take the strongest slave and make him sleep with your wife as well. So our whole understanding of family unit has always been distorted since we came to this country. You see what I'm saying?
But what about Section 8? You said about Section 8. Section 8 is a military term. Did you know what that means in the military term? It means it means you have a psychological disorder. That's how they discharge you from they'll say he's a Section 8. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you would mention that, and it just dawned on me, you know, that a lot of the Section 8 housing, it comes from that term.
Yeah, and that's why our sense of family is so distorted and destroyed right now. Why it's so easy for us to sleep with our other men's girls, and girls to sleep with their girlfriend's man, and because that's what our people was conditioned to do.
Was raised on.
You know what I'm saying? So when you think of our people was released after slavery and Christianity, I mean, we just kept doing what we always been conditioned to do. You know what I'm saying? We never ever had a strong family unit in this country, and a nation cannot stand without family units. You know what I'm saying? So that's got a lot to do with psychological. Another thing about psychological harm is just terror. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think if you was in there eating dinner with your family and you hear that, and you look outside and it's a cross burning on your lawn. You know it's waiting out there for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can't. And there's nobody. You can't go to the police because he's waiting out there for you. You can't go to the mayor because he's waiting out there for you. They all got white sheets on their face though. You know what I'm saying? So. Go ahead, bro.
And it's just like that at the job. You know what I'm saying? Say, for instance, a white person say something racist to me. Like I was talking to a brother the other day. He was talking about the plant life. He was like, one day his boss said, he called him a boy, I think. So he stopped. He said, "Did you call me a boy?" Okay, and then he said something about, "Yeah, you black." Okay, this is a black man at a job. A white man called him boy. okay, on his job. So then he went to what's the place that gets you a job? A temp service.
Okay.
He went to the temp service that got him the job. You know what I'm saying? That referred him to the job, you know, and got him the job. So the temp service told him to just leave. Mind you, that the temp service did nothing because that was one of their accounts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So they're gonna lose you before they lose their account.
Right. So therefore, you have nobody to run to this day.
Right. Just like the curse said.
Yep.
No one will help you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? No one will hear your voice. So these things that we're talking about, these things are ancient. These strategies aren't new. They just become more technical. They become more subtle. You know, and what we're dealing with right now, man, is something that's been always going on. And there's always been men that speak on it. You know, but there's always been another force that'll call these men, you know, most of our leaders, if you think about our leaders, the ones that have stuck to the script uncompromisingly, they had to kill them. But the ones who were compromising, they made them to be buffoons. You know, like a Sharpton. You know, like these men that they label to be our leaders, our black leaders. The ones that they give us are soft as hell. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that were uncompromised, and you can YouTube their autopsy sheets and see bullets in them. You know what I'm saying? Because they were willing to die for their people. And this is the same thing that's going to be required for the day. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the terror aspect that you just spoke about, you know, with a cross burning, it's still terror aspects going on when you have to listen to sirens going on in your neighborhood all the time, or gunshots going off in your neighborhood all the time, you know, or just all types of different violence. These are terror things that keep you from living your maximal, but just reaching 90. You know, you living in a stressful age where you probably are going to just meet 65. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the diet that we've adopted. So, I mean, these things are just, terror is going to definitely decrease the lifespan.
Yeah. And another thing how they got our people is, like, people look at LeBron James, Barack Obama, you know what I'm saying, Bob Johnson, the first black billionaire, Oprah Winfrey, and they be like, well, it's not racism, it's not systematic. But look at the definition of this genocide. It says genocide is the deliberate and systematic destruction in whole or in part of an ethnic, racial, religious, or national group. So it's telling you this, the systematic destruction in whole or in part. So when our people, it's in part, but it's still the majority, more of it is not. Right. You know what I'm saying? So just because every single solitary black person ain't living in poverty, you know what I'm saying, or being subjected to overt racism, you know what I'm saying, it's still a genocide being done on blacks here in part, and the part is way bigger than the part that's not being done too.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
So
you got your exceptions to the rule.
Yeah. Right.
Your Oprah's.
Right. That way they can always say, well, look, he made it.
Right.
He's making excuses. You know what I'm saying? They'll always let a few go in order to
oppress many.
I mean, because you can't, of course, in order to oppress many. Because you can't do it absolutely. You can't just absolutely oppress the people, because the argument is going to be absolute. This is what you're doing. So when you can say, well, Oprah's a billionaire, you can do anything. So that nullifies all the traps you done laid for the hood. That nullifies all the deficiencies of our education system, because Oprah made it.
Right.
And Jordan made it. You know what I'm saying? But what about the millions of people? And for the fact that you can label, and for the fact you can name like 5 people, show you it's a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because,
right.
But when you start talking about the millions of people, black people all around the world that don't make it, you know what I'm saying? And then you start talking about these Oprah Winfreys and these Michael Jordans. They're no longer neighborhoods. No longer do they even come back to the neighborhood. So these people become gods on a television screen, something that's unreachable in itself. So, you know, we're talking about these visual aids that are set before us that aren't actually realistic, because these people are not champions for their people.
Right. And then,
anyway.
And then you look at it like this too. Even America, what's that saying? The pursuit of happiness. You know,
the Constitution.
Yeah, the Constitution. And the pursuit of happiness, meaning it might not be happiness at all, but you're pursuing it. Right. So that's what they got our people think. We in this pursuit of happiness. We arriving to these points. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got all these actors and singers right now getting sacrificed. You got ODB came out speaking about, you know, the system, and they end up killing him. You got you got Pimp C coming out, they end up killing him. So these people, they got you wanting to be like these people, not knowing you got to sign your life away, agree not to help your people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You see 50 Cent saying he might not live that long, because now I just seen something on some article talking about he done went to the west coast of Africa.
Yeah, right.
That brother needs to watch out. Right. I mean, really, he doing what he's supposed to do, because at the end of the day, he's gonna have to die for his people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they want you to get up to this pedestal so you can sell out and be a slave.
But you know why they would have a problem with him going to West Africa? Why he would become someone to watch now? Because at first he was on their side as far as, you know, doing their agenda, talking the bullshit to the black masses,
right.
Giving dumbed down ideas to the children. You're on my side. You're a harmless nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you went over to that continent and saw your people and got a chance to get close to your history and get close to where you're from, now you're dangerous, not only because you went there, but because you got the money to make a difference now. You have money now. You know what I'm saying? You're not just a person going to Africa. You're a person that can come back, be moved by your experience in Africa, and do something for your people here. You know what I'm saying? So now you'll be a problem. Because, see, they don't care about us just traveling to Africa. They care about the ones who go throughout the neighborhoods, go, you know, to other black continents and see for themselves and come back and do and make a difference. Those are the ones that are threats. Not the ones that just go on to visit and come back and bring back some oil or some souvenirs. The people who have been moved to the point where they're determined to change the circumstances of our people.
Yeah, and you know, I found it quite amusing, you know what I'm saying, that the people that came up with this precise definition of genocide, you know what I'm saying, with all these different aspects, you know what I'm saying, are the same people that's inflicting it upon us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the United Nations, which is in New York. You know what I'm saying? So the American people came up with this definition. But they excluded to mention black people in this country, because they are doing all of these things to us. You know what I'm saying? Which just goes to show, you know what I'm saying, the hypocrisy of this nation. You know what I'm saying? And it's just funny to me that people believe that this is really a Christian nation. You know what I'm saying? When Christ, the main thing he did when he went at people in the Bible, he called them hypocrites. Don't be like the hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? Who pray long prayers, thinking their prayers gonna be heard. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So Christ is totally against hypocrites. And when we talk about Christianity, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people get offended, but we're not talking about the people. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about this false doctrine that was brought to our people in slavery. Like, let's just be honest about this here. This idea of Christianity that we have was given to our people in slavery. Do you really think it's something good for us?
Or do you really think your conqueror ever give you a expression of Christianity that will make you empowered? Do you think your conqueror will ever even do that? I mean, wouldn't it make the most sense if you got over 1 million slaves, over 10 million slaves? Would you ever give them an empowering form of religion? Tell them about their history in that book? Or would you take every picture that has to do with them of that book and make them white? You know what I'm saying? Which will further their inferiority complex, because when they look at their skin, it looks nothing like theirs. So these are symbolisms that wreak havoc on a people. Because if I get off a boat and you separate me from the giddy up, you know what I'm saying, from my father who could have taught me my original tongue and my Lord, you know what I'm saying, but then once that's done, now once we're separated, you can teach the child what you want to teach them. You know what I'm saying? Your expression of Christianity, the weak one, that you're gonna get yours when you leave here. Somebody take from you, give them your coat to. You're gonna magnify these weak aspects of this book. You're gonna lie about who these people are in this book. You're gonna take every great man out of that book that is a black man, and you're gonna make him white, because this furthers your cause. Yeah, there's been no prophets rising up out of Europe. You've never even seen that, you know what I'm saying? But this has been something that has been conspired, that they got together and did this. Yeah. They got together and came up what they were going to do with this cross, with this symbolism, with this symbolic, what this would mean. And we look at it as something that Jesus died on. But what they look at it is as something that we have conquered the world on. We went to and fro, and we conquered it with this cross. So people need to learn about Constantine. People need to know about the Council of Nicaea. People need to know about the canon, what books were accepted in the Bible, which books weren't. You know, people need to know about the political powers of the Catholic Church, what they did to what they call heretics, you know, men like us. You know what I'm saying? If you went against the Catholic Church, you had a question about anything that they were laying down, you were getting laid down.
Yeah, and another thing too is, man, people need to know that King James was black. You know what I'm saying? People need to know that King James was an Israelite. People need to know that white people, when they originated in Europe, it was in the mountains. So it was black people on the flatlands in Europe before white people ever came out them mountains. You know what I'm saying? People don't know that the Moors ruled Spain for 800 years, conquered Sicily, conquered part of Portugal. You know what I'm saying? It was black people ruling in Europe before white people was ever kings and queens in Europe. And when I tell people that, they be thinking I'm crazy because they won't do the research on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the whole thing is, you know what I'm saying, that our people is deprived of knowledge. And that's why the Bible says, my people shall perish for a lack of knowledge. Right. You know what I'm saying? He said, but also, my people shall perish from a lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. And since y'all reject knowledge, I'm going to reject you and your kids. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen to us with these curses. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to reject you and your kids.
Yeah.
So what Brother Judah was talking about was, you know, how they feared the Messiah coming. And they sought to kill him, right? But once the Messiah was here, they sought to kill him, but not just to kill him, but to exterminate the message that he actually had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What he was actually saying. Yeah. They wanted to circumvent the whole message. Yeah. And that's what's being done now. If you have men and women who are speaking a message of redemption, speaking a message about what these governments have put in place to destroy people, then these people have to be destroyed because they got a message. Yeah. You know, the message has to be extinguished. Because in order, if it's not extinguished, there'll be people to come against us, and we will not be able to carry out our plan. If they want to rule, and continue to take all the money, then it's going to take people to freely give it. Yeah. They can't just come into different homes and demand money. Yeah. So what they got to do is condition the mind of make consumers, make people to depend on them, so that everything that they tell us, we will be believing. You know what I'm saying? And give our money, give our children to their schools. You know what I'm saying? We believe them, and never will it dawn on us that these are the same people that's trying to kill us.
Yeah. You know, because it's funny you say that, because the FDA a couple of years ago made it a law where you can't cure disease unless it's with a drug. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So if I had like a shop, you know what I'm saying, mixing fruits and vegetables, selling juice, like, you know, drink this here to help prevent cancer, this is that. You know, the FDA running my shop with guns, you know what I'm saying? As part of the NDAA, that Senate Bill 1867, the National Detention Bill. One of the classifications of possibly terrorists if you got more than 7 days worth of food in your house. You know what I'm saying? So they want you to depend on them for the food. Why? Because their intention is to starve.
Same way they do with the guns, the gun laws. So the gun laws are designed to keep the guns out of our hands. Yeah. You know, when you get a felony, which your chances are not. I mean, I'm not saying that every black man in the urban areas in the big cities are gonna get a felony. But once you get that run-in, whether it's some certain misdemeanors as well, you no longer can have a gun. No. And well, as far as you can't go get one legally, but that means you cannot
defend your family,
adequately defend yourself or your family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what you see now in Detroit is a lot of white people patrolling the streets, coming up and down particular streets that they would never be on, but they got guns. Right? So when you even act like you want to do something, they just blow your head off. You know what I'm saying? Because they have gotten it so that they come down here and just open up season on killing black people. Because, I mean, I'm not saying that it's right for anybody to go carjack someone, but when you know that you come down here with a gun and you come to these areas and you know in your mind you came down here just so you could, just because you know what the climate what it makes, then you get your kill on. You know what I'm saying? So, but we can't adequately protect ourselves because we can't have guns.
No. And also the S510 law in Michigan makes it where it's illegal to grow your own food. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they want you to be reliant upon them. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to be able to protect your family. They don't want you to be able to provide for your family. You know what I'm saying? They want you to be totally at their mercy because they know what they're gonna do with you once you're totally at their mercy. You know what I'm saying? Just what this Bible said it's gonna do to you. You know what I'm saying? Either they're gonna make you sign over your soul to Satan with this mark, you know what I'm saying, or they gonna kill you. It's bottom line, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna come. It ain't gonna be no more. Oh, you in jail? It's gonna be white and black. It's gonna be good or bad. It's gonna be good and evil. It ain't gonna be no more straddling the fence. Is what I'm trying to say. Right. So you're gonna have to choose. You know what I'm saying? Either you all the way rocking with Satan, or to the best of your ability, you trying to worship the Most High. Right. You know what I'm saying? And with that comes humility. What come with that is knowing that you don't know everything. And actually reasoning with people, you know what I'm saying, to make it to where, you know what I'm saying, that y'all can come to a conclusion based upon facts so that you can make the best choice possible, you know what I'm saying, so you can guide you and your family and loved ones and friends, you know what I'm saying, by the Spirit of the Most High telling you which way to point people in the right direction, that you may win souls and the Most High willing your own soul be saved in the end. You know what I'm saying? saying? So in conclusion, when we're talking about black genocide, you know what I'm saying, we hope that y'all people got a clear definition, you know what I'm saying? Because when you think of genocide, most people just think of the mass killing of one people. But there's a lot of ingredients in this evil soup, you know what I'm saying, that lists all the requirements of genocide, and they're only being done to our people here in America, the blacks in America. And if he was to go to the United Nations, because Malcolm X actually tried to do that, to go to the United Nations and bring up all of these things, but they told him, who was he asking for what crime, you know what I'm saying, is being committed against what people? And he told them black people, and they told him what nation is black people. Because we don't have a nationality, which we know is Israel, that they purposely hid, you know what I'm saying? We can't even do nothing about this injustice, you know what I'm saying, that's being implemented against our people by the United Nations, because we don't have a nation, you know what I'm saying, to stand up there and put our flag and plead our case for.
But at the same time, we can do something about it. You know, we are doing something about it. You know, like I just said a few minutes ago, you know, it was the ideas of the Messiah that they wanted to kill, so that he couldn't, you know, get a message that awake, you know, the people about what they were doing wrong. It's the same thing, the ideas of Moses. So when you start talking about, you know, minds awakening, you know, and getting to the point where they're starting to speak about injustices and their dissatisfaction. You know what I'm saying? It was the dissatisfaction of the children of Israel that reached, you know, it was the dissatisfaction that they were moaning that reached the Most High's ear. You know what I'm saying? So when you got people that start to wake up and start not to, you know, just take stuff, you know what I'm saying, start to see things as they are and start to be active, you know what I'm saying, proactive, and start doing things, whether it's just, you know, taking time out of their days to stand on these blocks, in front of these liquor stores, in front of these projects, you know what I'm saying, whether it's taking time out of their day after school hours and working with these children who are being raised by single parents, you know, and giving them some empowering words about who they are and what they can be. You know what I'm saying? These things don't move massively all the time, but at the same time, there's impact. You know, what we're doing is impact, is trying to make an impact. I mean, only the Most High can say how far my words reach, or who gets touched by him, or how far Bezel or Judah's words reach and who gets touched by him. But if we are directed to speak and don't speak, then we have done a great injustice by what the Most High directed us to do. You know what I'm saying? We have taken our purpose and just threw it in a garbage can because of I was scared about what somebody may say about me, or who I used to be, or what I used to do, or where I've been. You know what I'm saying? We all have assignments. And our assignment right now, man, is to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? And not just tell the truth, try to walk it. You know what I'm saying? Try to be what these children need. I mean, if we can already assess the situation, we already know what the disease is of our people. And I really think it's just a lack of having truth. I don't care if it's all the way down to the diet. You know what I'm saying? We've been given an idea about what's good and what's bad. And like he said, they give light for darkness and darkness for light. Everything that we've been told that is good is bad, man. You know, and until you can get down and articulate how that is bad and go out there and do it consistently every day so that people can start to wake up and start to want to live and want to ask questions, then we basically just, you know, you just basically threw your purpose all out the window. Yeah. So, you know, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to a point where, you know, people start to ask questions. I'm not trying to, I mean, I can't wake a nation with the things I say, but we can spark minds, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to do, just spark minds, man.
And I mean, I just want to say that if you pay attention to what's going on, you know what I'm saying, we all know what's coming down the pipe, you know what I'm saying, with this war with Iran is coming, you know what I'm saying, that's that final stage being set that you talk about in the book of Daniel, you know what I'm saying. So I mean, time is real limited, you know what I'm saying. Like Christ said, when he come back, you know what I'm saying, people gonna be getting married, babies gonna be getting born, it's gonna be just like in the days of Noah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is right now, you know what I'm saying, it's just mass wickedness. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gonna let somebody open fire on your son? You gonna let somebody open fire on your daughter? You know what I'm saying? These are all things to die about. You know what I'm saying? Would you let somebody open fire on a child that was not yours, that looked just like yours though? You know what I'm saying? And you knew that the only help or rescue that they had was to come from you. You were the only one able, the only one that could actually try to save them. You know, only a coward would sit down and sit back and watch their child be murdered. You know what I'm saying? I don't care whether it's by a bullet or whether it's by an idea. And so once we take into consideration that these people are actually really trying to kill our kids, and us along with it, then it's gonna take some men to say, no, y'all not gonna do that shit.
You know what I'm saying? We're not about to sit up here and lay down while y'all put these missions out, man. Yeah. The media is completely trying to destroy our children's minds. The neighborhood and what has been projected on the neighborhood as far as being something to strive for, materialistic things and things as such. Those things are killing our children's minds.
Individualism,
independency.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing independent about the black nation. It never has been.
And then the thing is, they're trying to make us be independent, but they pushing the independent, do me, you do you.
You do you.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, they ganging up.
Right.
So they're telling you to be independent, but they mobbing on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And stomping you while you down, just like if we had to beat somebody down, us three, telling them, look, it's going to be a one-on-one.
We are very unorganized as a people. And that is exactly why they were able to get us off the land in the first place. Just by being tribal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the continents in Africa were tribal. Meaning and didn't all speak the same dialect. So there was there was a communication breakdown, and they start moving in amongst those tribes and causing dissension between those tribes. It's no different than they do now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dope dealers are put on to what goes on about another neighborhood by police officers. You know what I'm saying? They come in there and set up stages just like you see on this real TV that you look at. You know what I'm saying? It's no different in the neighborhoods. It's just a plot being set out.
Yeah.
You know, that we're falling into every single day.
And then you got shows on the History Channel like Gangland. You know what I'm saying? They just try and basically glorify, you know what I'm saying, gang life. They show members of it talking about the intricacies of gang life and this, that. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that even relevant?
Yeah, you got a white man narrating, you know what I'm saying, telling you how terrible these people is. But you know that our people, the black youth, are watching that stuff and getting inspired. You know what I'm saying? When Gangbanging in Little Rock came out on HBO, that stuff had the exact reverse effect than what they was trying to do. It made niggas want to go gangbang. Right. You know what I'm saying? They know that that's how our people look at that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
The first 40 years.
Because our people are good speakers. We can talk about anything and make it sound good. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's gang life, pimping chicks, selling drugs, killing each other. We can talk about anything and make it sound good because we are the sons of the prophets. You know what I'm saying? We orators. You know what I'm saying? This stuff in our blood. You know what I'm saying? That's why white people copy all our words. For Shizzle, my nigga, you hear them saying all the words we say. You know what I'm saying? We come up with the same.
But it's not gang banging that's bad. It's the idea of the gang that's bad. You know what I'm saying? What the gang concept itself is actually good. You know what I'm saying? The type of self-reliance and camaraderie. The camaraderie that comes with banging. But you know, that's good. But the idea that you will pull a weapon on your own kind or sell drugs to your own, you know what I'm saying? Those concepts are bad. But you know, in this era, when you got a government or you got you know, powers that be that are trying to establish power moves, you know what I'm saying? It's good to have men that they can consider this a game.
And another thing,
but the ideal is not about killing ourselves or killing anybody else.
Yeah, and another thing to make the gangs a bad thing is, like the Bible says, our people perish from a lack of knowledge. They don't know that this gang symbolism comes from witchcraft book. You know what I'm saying? When you look at like what is that? The Black Stones. You know what I'm saying? Got the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Vice Lords. Got the 5-point star. You know what I'm saying? With the circle around is used for Satanism. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got the folks use the 6-point star, which is the star of Moloch. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, all of this stuff is all. You know what I'm saying?
Those are ideas that are
all old ancient pagan symbols that our men in the black community dying over. They don't know where them symbols come from. They don't know that they ancient. They don't know that people was practicing that stuff in the Bible. They don't know that people practicing that stuff doing witchcraft in high places at Bohemian Grove and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because our people perish from a lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So everything they got our people doing, you know what I'm saying, is something they do.
But everything that we establish that's helpful or progressive, it's always infiltrated. It's always, I don't care if we're talking about the Black Panther Party, there's always an infiltration process that happens to groups that are strong. Whether I don't care if we're talking about the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? There are always are people put in place to destroy, you know, the actual movement or water it down, drugs or heroin that was put in with the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? This separated the you know, them from trying to do what was right for the people to finally, they want to get money. You know, so
So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap that on up, you know what I'm saying, with today's message about black genocide. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, with Brother Mark here, you know what I'm saying, and me, you know what I'm saying, read the rough draft of my paper that I wrote for class, you know what I'm saying, I gave y'all, you know what I'm saying, a better clarification, you know what I'm saying, of why what's happening to you is happening to you. You know what I'm saying? Understand the systematic destruction of our people is really something way more heinous than them just coming to physically kill us. You know what I'm saying? It's like some real evil mad scientist type, like a hatred that you can't even really fathom in your mind that they have for our people. And a lot of our people sit up here and try and tell you that white people love us. You know what I'm saying? And good to us. You know what I'm saying? Well, really they hate our guts.
And another thing is this. If they really cared about us, this stuff wouldn't be going on no more, because they would stand up for you when some injustice happens. Like, say for instance, you at work, some injustice happened, you're a black man, you got a white boss, some injustice happened, they gonna step in and be like, look, you can't do that to him because of such and such, such and such, that ain't right. But they don't do that, they turn the other cheek, and black people don't do nothing because they gonna lose their job. So at the end of the day, like I said, if they really cared about what was going on, it's on the news every day, Detroit killings, all that. But the sad part is black people don't really care about their own. So why would they care about their own us either? Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I wanted to say before we end this, man. It's about this ain't about pointing out, you know, who did what. It's about to remind us ourselves that it's our responsibility. It's not nobody else's responsibility to change the situation, man. This is our responsibility and ours alone. So there's nobody gonna come out, you know, to just, you know, speak on our behalf, because that's the promise of the book. The book says you ain't gonna have no helper. You know what I'm saying? The help comes from establishing ourselves upon the word. You know, speaking truth to power. You know what I'm saying? Willing to be incarcerated behind what's right. I mean, you'll be incarcerated behind what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? We'd be incarcerated behind selling dope, killing each other, stomping each other, rapes and everything else. But you won't be incarcerated behind telling the truth, jumping in front of some of these bullets. You know what I'm saying? Come on, get some of these shots. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's pleasing to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? What's pleasing to the Most High is not how big or how many rooms you got in your house, how many chains you got around your neck, or what you driving in. You know what I'm saying? What's pleasing to the Most High is how adamant you were with following out His plan, with carrying through what He said our purpose was. That's what's pleasing to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So in that regard, that's what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to do what's most displeasing to man. We're trying to upset you. You know what I'm saying?